Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sean Pearson, host of Journey to Virtuous. I am excited to be with you today. Part of what I have the blessing of doing with each of these episodes is to share a piece of my journey to virtuous. This work for me started almost 30 years ago with my heart being healed, my mind being focused, and me getting centered on walking in purpose. And I've had the opportunity in this year of 2024 to have what I call several moments of reckoning, several moments of realization. And as I walk into 2025, the greatest lesson that I learned this year that I want to share with you all is making a decision to choose you. My background has been that I have been that people pleasing, overachieving, want to save the world, Pollyanna mentality about there's good in everyone and I'm just going to love it right out of them. And in doing that, I've experienced a lot of hurt, a lot of disappointment, and I learned how to love other people into their greatness, but I never really practiced loving myself. But in 2024, I want to tell you that it has been a season where I have had several health issues. I've had several challenges with my business. I've had different opportunities for healing in relationship with family and friends and business colleagues because of the things that I've gone through. And this year was by far one of the most difficult years I've had in my professional career. And those difficulties were because I had to take a good long look at myself in the mirror and recognize that the common denominator for every challenge that I've been having in business and in personal relationships is me. And what was the problem with me? And I recognized that I did not and I was not focused on loving myself. I had not given much attention to making sure that I was following through on self care. I could preach it and teach it to other people with my words, but my actions were not lining up with that. And for me, this summer, it all came to a very abrupt halt with having two surgeries in less than 4 months. And physically, I was not capable of doing all the things that I had been doing. Wasn't capable of rescuing everyone else. I wasn't capable of having the answer. And in some days, I wasn't even strong enough to be up for more than a couple of hours at a time before I needed to rest. And while neither of the surgeries were near death experiences, beyond, of course, being put under with anesthesia, they were moments where I had to really take a good hard look at the way that I have been living, the way that I have been taking care of this body that I've been blessed to have, um, taking care of my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, and even my spiritual health. And I have to say that I didn't give myself a good report card in doing that. I was average in some cases, in other cases, I was failing miserably. And I had to really take a good long look during that time of healing, which was probably about a 4 month period. Had to take a good long look at some of what my husband has been sharing with me. I won't say preaching because he's not at all one that preaches to me or scolds me. He just has a way of giving me this look when I'm not doing something that is in my best interest or in my benefit. But I had to really reflect on how many times over these last 20 years that we've been together, how many times has he been encouraging me to do things a little bit differently so that health wise I would be a little more strong to do what I really wanted to do, which was enjoy life with him. And so this last year, learning to love me, learning to choose me was a lesson that I had to choose to walk out in my professional life and in my personal life. Journey to Virtuous is a big part of my purpose work, being able to create this platform for other individuals to talk about their life and the difficulties of being called to do something greater than what they imagined, and being able to interview them and ask them questions about what it was like for them to walk out that purpose, and what were their fears, what were their concerns, what were their vulnerable spaces. It's been easier to do that for other people than it was to do for and with myself. But I want to tell you that I am coming into this next year rejuvenated, because I had to own that I was the common denominator in every unhealthy relationship that I had. And I say had because thankfully I've been able to address each and every one of them. Hasn't been an easy journey, but I can tell you it has absolutely been worth it. I rest better at night. I am comfortable saying no in those relationships that were not reciprocal. I'm comfortable actually explaining to individuals why our relationship has to change because it's healthier for me. But I want to tell you that it's not always easy for the people on the other side. Professionally, I found that over this last decade, I developed relationships that were very one sided. I had what I considered partners, but those partners were very comfortable with always receiving the help from me, always having the collaboration of Zion Institute or Sean Pearson to be behind them, to lead in the agendas that they were wanting to bring to community, being a part of their initiatives, even finding funding to cause those works to be able to be realized in the community. But 2024 was a year where our organization lost millions of dollars in one particular field of work. And as that loss was taking place, all of the dozens of colleagues and partners that I believed I had, they were one-sided relationships, because very few of those individuals, and I can literally count on one hand out of probably 200 relationships that I have in business, or more than 200, there were probably less than 5 individuals in business who came by my side and said, "What does Sean need? What does Zion need? How can we be of support so that your work continues?" And while a part of me wanted to be angry about that, the greater part of me had to recognize that it was a common theme that was happening amongst what I considered partners. And that common theme of me being there for them, but them not being there for me in the ways that I had been, that lack of reciprocity was a result of how I had taught them to treat me in our relationship. And so I had to take responsibility for the types of relationships that I've established, always being the go to, always being the rescue, always being that partner that would stand up and stand out and advocate and defend whatever the work was that someone else was doing. But not having the reciprocal support was devastating in 2024. But it also was some very valuable lessons learned that I get to carry with me for a lifetime. And I recognize that that same lack of reciprocity was across my personal relationships, because I wasn't choosing me. In those times when someone needed something and I was beyond exhausted, I still got up and I did, instead of saying, "You know what? This is one that you have to figure out without my support in that way." When there were times that there were thousands of dollars in bills that needed to be paid in my own personal circumstance, but I chose to make sure that someone else's things got paid for. Those were my choices. Those were not the choices of the other individuals. And so 2024 was a year where I learned that not loving me as much as I love everyone else, and not supporting me as much as I support everyone else, had a devastating impact on me when the time came that I actually needed the support of others the way that I had supported them. And so this year I learned to love me. And I have with me my little teddy bear of roses, is one that was given to me by one of my surrogate sons. I was blessed to be able to share in a journey of a young man that is now off to college. His mom was a colleague of ours that worked at Zion with me, and she and I are still close today. But he gave this to me, and it's a teddy bear of roses that I sometimes will look at on the shelf in my office on days that I want to cry, but I couldn't cry in front of my staff. I would just look over at my teddy bear and I would say to myself, "I'm going to be okay. Somebody loves me, even if this situation is hard." And so this teddy bear is going to sit front and center for the whole next year with me, to remind myself that I'm lovable. I'm worthy of every good gift that God has given to me. I'm worthy even when things don't go the way that I want them to go. I am loved, I am valued, and I am appreciated by me. even when other people may not be demonstrating that. But more importantly, I'm going to use it as a reminder to myself that I have to choose me. When others aren't choosing me, I have to choose me. As the business was going through all the difficulties that it was going through this year, and I elected to pay my team and not draw a salary, I elected to take care of everyone and not take care of myself. This next year, I'm choosing me. So I'm making sure that I'll be structured in a way that nobody's harmed by me choosing me, because I'm going to say no to the things that don't fit. I don't have to people please. I don't have to partner please, but I will be able to operate in excellence and still do the work that I've been called to do, but not overcommit myself because I'm choosing me. In those times when my children or my grandchildren or loved ones may need something from me, if I'm tired, I'm giving myself permission to say no, thank you, which is something that one of my teachers in the preschool has taught our children to say when they experience a behavior that they don't appreciate from an adult or one of their peers. They simply say, no, thank you. I don't like that. I don't want that. So thank you, Miss K, for that tip, because I'm walking into 2025 saying, no, thank you. And in other cases, I'm simply going to say no, but I'm choosing me. And I want to encourage each and every one of you that have been called to do something greater than yourself. Sometimes that call on our life is so great and it is so incredible, and it can be at times so rewarding that we lose sight of the care that we need to take for ourselves. And you'll find yourself unhealthy the way that I did. 2 surgeries in less than 4 months. My body did not have time to recover. The surgeries that were clearly stress related did not have to happen. Some of the health issues that we face today in America, period, are stress related. We're trying to live these lives beyond the capacity of what our bodies can handle, what our mind and emotions can handle. We're overworking and not producing what we would desire to produce. So we think that just working a little harder is the solution. I want to encourage you to rest. Rest in God. Know your limitations. Be okay saying no. Be okay with falling and failing. I encourage the folks that we teach in business, don't be afraid to step out on faith. Don't be afraid to fail. Just fail faster so you can get up, learn from the mistakes that you made, and go and be great. I'm excited for what's coming in this next year for me. In these next few weeks for me, I can tell you that these months of being sick, being on this healing journey, recognizing that I wasn't choosing me, but I was making sure that other people were healthier than they were when I met them, which is something that is good. It is good to want to make a difference in the lives of other people, but make sure that you're making a difference in your own life. Make sure that you're taking care of you just as much as you're taking care of other people. I have found that in these last 2 months, I've gone through the healing from my surgeries, but my love life is so much richer. I enjoy date night. I'm not tired on date night. My time with my grandchildren is much more fruitful because I can actually enjoy the time and stay awake and be alert and be refreshed. My mindset about business is different because I'm no longer carrying partners that aren't willing to carry me. This year, I am choosing me. And on this journey to virtuous, I'm inviting you to see what it looks like on the other side of me choosing me. I'm expecting great things for Journey to Virtuous. I'm expecting great things for Whisper Consulting. I'm expecting even greater things for Zion Institute. I'm expecting that 2025 is going to bring ownership of the campus for us so that this can be a campus for those Black-owned businesses that want to prosper and want to serve the community. I'm expecting that the health services that we offer are going to prosper and thrive. I'm expecting that the child care preschools are going to replicate and multiply across the state of Arizona. And I'm expecting that these entrepreneurs who have something to offer for community are going to be better off because they've gone through the training with Whisper Consulting and Zion Institute. But I know that it's all because I made a choice to choose me. When the optimal time came for me to take a look at how I've been doing business, for me, unfortunately, it was while I was resting on surgery recovery. It doesn't have to be that for you. Make a decision to love yourself. Make a decision to walk away from those relationships that are not healthy for you, that are not reciprocal for you, that are not aligned with your value systems. Don't settle this year. Coming into this new year, it's an opportunity for a new beginning. It's an opportunity to do business differently. It's an opportunity to love yourself differently. So I want to invite you to be on the journey with me. I want you to choose this year to love you and to choose you above all else. And so I thank you for being with me today. I thank you for sharing just these few moments of my journey and my testimony as God is walking out what He wants for my purpose in my life. It is just a great experience. It's not always easy, but it is absolutely always worth it. So, again, I thank you for joining me here on Journey to Virtuous for these few minutes of sharing my testimony. I hope that you are on your journey to virtuous, and I invite you to stay on this journey with me to be inspired, encouraged, and motivated to go and be great. Thank you and take care. Thank you for joining me on my podcast, A Journey to Virtuous. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to know more about the work that I'm doing, please visit me on social media at thezioninstitute.org or Whisper Consulting, or also Sean Pearson Journey Coach. You can also find me on one of my websites, thezioninstitute.org, thezioninstitute.org, or whisperconsulting.com. That's WISPHER consulting.com. Thank you for your support.